Hello, it's Sarah. So this is sort of a prequel to that tutorial I posted. Gonna just give a share of the tiles that I made, and that way whoever's not interested in the tutorial can still have a look at the tiles. And I'll give you some information in this one as well. I had previously shown, when I did the other polymer clay video, some tiles, and I saw a great tutorial by Gabrielle Pollacco. I'm going to pull this in here, hopefully. She is, that's her YouTube channel, and the video is Mixed Media ATC Tutorial. And that's where I got my inspiration to start putting these little ball pieces of clay on, and these swirlies, and the cabochons. That was the first time I saw the cabochons. So I had played and made a few of those, and so then I go on Google and I Google polymer clay tiles, and I saw some beautiful ones that were very similar, and I'm wondering if Gabrielle didn't get her inspiration from Kristina Kapono. This one, Kristina Kapono. Her blog is Mandarinmoon, but she's not really blogging very often, but she does have a gallery on there, and she has you know, posts. I think it was like July was one of the last posts or something. I also found a website called claylessons.com, and she has tutorials on there. Kristina does. She has this really cool dragon's eye that I'm thinking I might do, and there's other polymer clay pieces on there that you could do a tutorial. So anyway, I wanted to get that out there because I feel like some people may be afraid to try it, but when you see a tutorial, it just, that, especially for me, like, it just gives me, I just go for it then, because when someone shows me how to do it, I can do it. So these are some of the tiles I made yesterday, and the only thing is now that I'm thinking, they really look very similar because I used the Pearl X and all. I did the same techniques on all of them. So I'm not sure if you were to put these together on a mirror, if it would be too monochromatic. And I think that's what my husband said about my mirror that I showed, was it was very monochromatic. He kind of couldn't differentiate between the tiles, but I think it looked nice. I found it appealing, but not everyone may. So this is the first one I made, and this is really a copy of, very similar, as using as many of the pieces that I had. I have a button here, a metal button, 2 cabochons. I actually made the heart. I kind of just swirled my clay into a heart shape. And so this was very similar to one of Kristina's pieces. So that was my first one, and it's actually not quite the size of an ATC. I just cut it whatever size I wanted. Now this is actually a cookie cutter. So I did quite a few with this cookie cutter and this cookie cutter, just because I like to get that nice straight line and make it a square. This is also based on a piece that I saw by her, but I put the mirror in, and the sun charm that I had, and just another cabochon. But because I mean, I didn't have the exact things that she had, but it was basically this geometric pattern. And I used some of these are by, I'm gonna say the name today, it was just here, where is it? Makin's. Well, I think I got these at Hobby Lobby, but they come in, let me see if I lift this up. You get 4 different textures in each pack. So I have 3 of those, and I just pulled out a couple of them today. I'm going to be using the screen later on when I make my Christy Friesen elephant, because it called for a screen, and I just happen to have this. So anyway, the cobblestone is my favorite so far. I definitely like the cobblestone effect. I also have sand, and I have some stars here that I didn't use, but I just used those for background texture, and this one is the sand, and it really is cool. It gives it, like, you know, it just makes the mica powder really glimmer better. All right, so then I went on to make these. I'm going to kind of go in order because it progressed as I went. I started playing with this wooden piece. Now these come together in a set at Michael's. These were like, this was the floral one, I think. It's had butterflies and flowers and bugs. I have a dragonfly too somewhere. Anyway, so I just thought that this flower might make a nice impression. So I started playing with that. And I was really proud of myself because I tend to be a copycat. And so if I can come up with something on my own, I'm really happy about it. So these were the couple that I did using this flower. I just embed that in the clay, and that gives you this impression. So this is my least favorite. I just put lots of flowers and a couple swirls. I tried to put little bead findings for the centers. So then I did this one, and I used might still be on my desk right here, but it's this metal corner. And I just impressed this into the clay to get the leaves for this one. So I was just playing with different impressions. I put a little hummingbird and a flower for the center of that one. This one then I made this big one. And I put 3 flowers and just some swirlies. So not much of a difference there, but just a bigger version. Then I decided to make some leaves. Add leaves like a 3-dimensional type leaf. So I have these little tiny cookie cutters. So I started playing with them, and I made these leaves, and then I just in the tutorial I actually make these. These are the ones I make, so you can see exactly how I make them. These little round marks here are just from a pen. I just like stick this pen in there to get those. And I like these. I started really feeling it. I was like, okay, I get it now. I'm starting to feel this. So this one's one of my favorites. Then I made a smaller version here with a little heart. I actually do a tutorial. This whole thing I make on the tutorial. And then this one I ended up putting an angel in the center with love and just one leaf. So that turned out really cute too. But they are all monochromatic. They're all very similar in color. So I'm not sure if that's good or not. I don't know. I'm not sure if that's a problem when you're making a piece. Okay, so then I started playing with more of the these little cookie cutters, and I did these flower shapes. So now this is really 3-dimensional, and most of the clay is on top. I think I did the sand background, so it has like a grittiness to the background. And then I just put swirlies all over, a couple leaves and some balls, and did the mica powder again. Oh, I just put little Swarovski crystals in the middle. I don't have flat back rhinestones. I'm going to look into that, but I don't know that mine are glass, so I didn't want to use them. So that one turned out pretty cool. This one is actually an ATC size. This is 2.5 by 3.5. And I made this one actually before that one. I thought, maybe I can make a flower using this cabochon as a center. And I used the cobblestone for the background on this one. I think it turned out really cool. And just again, those little swirlies and the balls of clay. And some of the balls of clay I made bigger, and then I'd stick the pen into it to get that kind of impression. I started using like my little tools here to make dents and things, and I used 2 colors of mica powder on the petals. So I'm just playing. I'm just trying to figure out where I'm going with this and what I want to see what works. I'm going to go away and come back. So this is an actual ATC size. So this, you can see they're not quite ATC size, but I actually measured this one to be an ATC. These I just kind of winged it. And then these were my final 2 that I made last night, and I'm really pleased with these. I used this little like teardrop shape, and I stamped out about, I don't know how many are on there, lots of them, because I knew I wanted to do a double-decker, like, and they're kind of thick. I probably could have gone a little thinner with my clay, and then just did the leaves and swirlies. I call them swirlies, but this one's really cool. I don't know, this is actually a mix of colors of clay. I was just using whatever packages I had open before I get started on, today I'm going to work on my Kristi Friesen projects. But this was just a mix of clay, so all the clay I use is the same color, and then, which I kind of like for like the leaves, when you dig into it, the dark clay shows through. So I'm happy with these. These are my creation. The cabochon came out kind of cloudy though. That was weird. I don't know why, because for most of them you can just wipe off with a baby wipe all the cabochons and all the jewelry findings, and they all come clean. Oh, this one, I just wanted to say, this did not stick. Let me think. No, I don't have the other one here. But I had shown on the tutorial that a previous one that I did like this, where I made the swirly on the cabochon, this little piece of clay did not stick to the cab, so I just glossy accented this one down, and it dries clear, so it looks fine. Like, it's still shiny and it's perfectly clear. So I'm sure there are clay glues that you can use and all types of stuff like that, but I just didn't want it to fall off because I like this one. And then this is the other one I did. Now this one, I ran out of, this color was the last of what I had, so I just pulled out a gold, a small gold package that I had. So you can see that this, all the top layers of clay are the gold. So that was kind of interesting because I'd been really working with a dark clay all day. I mean, this is as light as it was. I mean, it was a mix, but this is like a little more, has a little more metallic to it. But this was actually dark. This was more black. I opened my black, that's what it was. But what I was going to say was, like, you can see on the leaves, well, this still looks dark inside, which is kind of cool because it's gold clay, but that's black clay. Or it's a black mix. So the way the mica powders show up on the lighter clay is interesting too. You know, you get a different look. So that's another thing that probably you'll get to know about as the more you play. How the colors take the different colors of clay take the different colors of mica powder. So so that's it. Those are my clay tiles. I just wanted to share those, and then I will have my little critters that I'm going to create. I think I'm going to do the elephant and the whale today, I'm hoping. It's a rainy day here in New Jersey, and my husband is in Alaska, so I am going to be playing with my clay. And I hope you guys give it a try. Okay guys, thanks for watching.